Well, everybody wanted to know how my spring was going, and I've been working in the yard. We've had a kind of cooler than usual spring, but I put in, these are called double knockout roses, and they're so pretty. Oops, trying to trip over. They've got, this one's a smaller one, and what I did was I put down some weed block. Oops, I'm sorry. I put down some weed block, and then I put a couple of bags of gravel down here. And then I had an old piece of driftwood, and I was trying to think of what to do with that corner, and I think it looks nice with the lattice. Now I'm going to cut that lattice. Eventually I'm going to cut that edge off, and paint the bottom of that brick, but for right now. So I decided to put that in a container. This way, if it grows a little bit too big, I can pull it forward, and I can still get to the back of the house to, to clean the siding and everything. Some people put bricks under, and you can roll around. You can put a little roller under there and roll it. I don't know. I thought about it, and then I decided on gravel. So that's one area I've been working on. Then on the edge of the piece of property, see, it goes like that, and then it comes down. I had a big hole there that a tree was in, and so I decided to put another knockout rose there. I put it also in a container, and I used what the Lord gives us for free. There's some really pretty wildflowers. Some of you out there may know what these are. They may even be seeds from regular flowers. I'm not sure what these purple ones or these yellow ones are, but they're really pretty. I think the yellow is just clover. Yeah, I guess that's just clover. But I thought I would decorate with what was already there. And so I'm going to be pruning it around the red knockout roses, and then hopefully they'll get a little bit taller. Right now they're not too tall, but they sure are pretty. Then in the front of the house, I had vegetables last year. I just got in a flower mood this year, and I decided to put some caladiums, bulbs, and then I forget what these are called, and it faded. But anyway, they're real pretty. If they bloom, they're supposed to be a real pretty flower in front. Kind of like, almost like a rose, but they're real tight. Almost, maybe a carnation rose, sort of. But anyway, so I'm hoping to get some caladiums to bloom in the front of the house, and then those rose things, whatever they're called. This is kind of a mess right now. I got to replant all my totes. But I left my onions in last year. They didn't get very big, but on the bottom, but they did get kind of big on top, and they just kind of look whimsical. But I found out I buried them too deep in the soil, so I ended up with some whimsical onions that I'm going to pluck up. And next to my whimsical onions is my little asparagus that didn't stay too little. My husband was in an accident, so things got kind of crazy around here for a while. I didn't have a chance to cut my asparagus back, so I have an asparagus tree. Well, several actually. And yeah, it just kind of went crazy. So that's that, and I'll have to clean all this up. And behind that, I believe there's some mint that I just threw back here, and it's actually doing really good. Yep, some mint. You can look under here. It kind of looks, I don't know, like a little forest. Okay, my misty blueberry bush this year, or actually it's two misty blueberry bushes, are producing quite a bit of blueberries. They're only 3 years old, and they're doing pretty well. I found out I need to actually plant several varieties, but I don't know. And then in back of that, my thornless blackberry, which is growing like a weed. Okay, they're blooming again. The blooms are blooming. So it looks like it's going to make it another year. I've never done container gardening. See, I use these totes, and so this is all new, but it seems like if you keep them weeded and watered and fertilized, which I just use peat moss to really fertilize, and a little, compost, they just seem to do really well. It's filling in like I wanted it to, and so that this thing is blocked. See, I didn't want to be able to see through that to that ugly mess in the back, which is some kind of root cellar or something. But anyway, that's what was the whole purpose of putting up the trellis and putting that thornless blueberry bush in front of it, so I get to eat, plus it looks pretty in the spring with all the blooms. On the other side, I have a red raspberry bush that I planted. This is going on its second spring. Last year I put it in the tote, and red raspberry seems to take off really easily. So if you don't know anything about red raspberries, I've been cutting it back because it's full of thorns, and I thought to myself, why did I get a thorny bush? But my husband likes red raspberries, so actually I did it for him. I haven't gotten any raspberries off of it yet, but it's definitely filling in. And what I'm going to try to do is just kind of keep it chopped back like in a square, and so it stays pretty neat, and hopefully we'll get some raspberries off of it. But it's healthy too. Okay, for my vegetables right now, the only thing I have planted is a Bradley tomato, which is about 3 weeks old, and it seems to be doing really well. And this year I got a mortgage lifter. These are all heirloom tomatoes, I believe. Yeah, heirlooms. Yeah, and these mortgage lifters are supposed to be pretty big tomatoes. I love tomato sandwiches, so I never got a mortgage lifter tomato plant, so now we have one. Now, this is what I'm going to do by the rest of the day, Lord willing. I have a whole bunch of, I have about 6 beefsteak tomatoes and a whole bunch of plum tomatoes back there. I have a geranium, an impatient, and I'm not quite sure what these are. They're just so pretty. I think the lady at the nursery said they were zinnias or something, or in the plant of a zinnia, but they were just so beautiful. I had to get them. And then those little guys in the back, I always forget their names, but porcavilias, I don't know, something. So that's what I've been up to. Alright, I gotta get back to my work. I gotta plan all this stuff, and running out of daylight, as they say. Y'all have a blessed day, and bye bye.